Hey, it's Shaves, and welcome to another edition of AniTube Digest, where we go over the best and not so best anime YouTube videos to come out this week from the 18th of August to the 24th of August. It's a little thundery out right now, and there was, right before I started recording, the light flickered off. So I don't know if my power is just going to go out in the middle of recording, and if that's the case, then this audio will probably, I might re-record it or something if I get too far in, but if that happens, that might be why if that happens, but it might not happen. I don't know. Stay tuned to the end of this video as well, because I'm going to talk about some fun digest related stuff, so don't just click off the end of the video once you've seen the end of the video, or you can skip to the end if you, I don't know, whatever. So first for the video that I thought was not good, and there was a video that I could have watched, but I tapped out immediately. I was like, I've done the same video from this guy. It was an Otaku Daikon video about the relationship between fans and companies, and I did not want to stomach it. I didn't want to fucking ingest that poison. So I knew bullshit was gonna, I smelt it. And I was like, maybe I should watch it for not good. But then I remembered this Lost Pause video came out, and I just think it's a good time to bring this little nugget up, I guess. You know, God. But at least this was one I watched to completion, but there was probably, the Daikon one was probably way worse, but I didn't want to bother, dude. I really didn't. But Lost Pause put out anime piracy and streaming sites may disappear completely, and it's great for weebs. Like, the thumbnail's like, oh boy, rip Crunchyroll, rip Funimation. There's a new big boy in town. It's coming straight from Japan. It's called Anime Log, guys. Okay. If you don't know what Anime Log is, it is a collaboration by a bunch of Japanese studios from an American businessman. This is not a Japanese thing, exactly. This is thought of, and well, let's try this by an American businessman. Don't think that us Westerners, Western industry or something. Okay, let's get that out of the way. They are putting TV shows onto YouTube, with probably running ads. Maybe, probably not, considering that a lot of these shows are going to be flagged by YouTube to be for children. So there won't even be comments on these, or like and dislike. It'll just be available to watch with subtitles, etc. And the shows they have on there are Masterpiece Theater shows, classics. Masterpiece Theater, World Masterpiece with I didn't see Akaki no En or Heidi on there, which are kind of the big two of that group of shows, but definitely not Dragon Ball. Not One Piece, as Lost Pause is really using as the show of don't you want to watch One Piece on YouTube, guys? And he's obviously not being paid by these guys. He's going out of his way to talk about this because he knows his audience wants this. They want to just watch anime for free, even though they can on Crunchyroll. Maybe they don't like the service or the UI or something, or they have a hate boner for Crunchyroll for whatever reason, but it is on Crunchyroll for free, you guys. Yeah, it has ads, but is it really that big of a deal? Anyway, it's it's just villainizing Crunchyroll and Funimation again. This is all they know how to do now. And it puts a lot of the people who are kind of have some problems with Crunchyroll and kind of want to say some stuff, it makes them look like haters when you blob them up with these people, because all they do is shit on Crunchyroll and Funimation for no reason. My censorship. Who do you think is going to be getting these subs? Where are these English subs coming from? From this anime log? First of all, they're not going to have the shows on here that they're looking for. Crunchyroll and Funimation and all these guys already have licensing agreements. They're not going to just suddenly want to put them on fucking YouTube. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work. That's the industry we're in. And people don't have to like it, but it's the reality. It's the work that other people put into. They put into this company. Yeah, they're bought by this whatever, and they've done these questionable decisions, but people have actually put work in and have gotten compensation for it and have made this their living. That is the real world that we are living in. You don't just make a YouTube video, you know, like these YouTubers, man. Like, you know, I don't want to like, oh, these big anti-tubers, blah, 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 like sucking anti-fucking, you know, I'm not about that. You know that this is why I made AniTube Digest, because there are people on this platform that are making great videos that are separate from this bullshit of like villainizing the Western anime industry. It's nothing to do with it, you know, or at the very least are compliant with them, because we all like this stuff, right? It's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't want to be like, I can't say I'm anti-piracy because I've benefited tremendously from piracy. I would not be the anime fan I am without piracy. But a lot of these Western industry people started out very similarly. Like they bought bootlegs or they traded VHS tapes. Like this was all illegal activity, and they all did it. They all at least participated in it. If they had the option to not, they would take it, which is what the majority of them did. A lot of these older guys who are still in anime and are writing about it and stuff like that and are in the industry themselves now because they've been in it for so long, if the option is there, they will take it. And that's what a lot of these people will say, but will they really do? Like, that it's just, I don't know. It's a very big conversation. I don't really want to. But like, Lost Pause, I just think is taking advantage of the situation and this news story and like riling his fans up. But he's not giving the whole picture. I think at least to his credit, he does mention, unlike some of these other people that have talked about this, that a lot of these people conveniently try to ignore the catalog that's actually going to be on this service. But Lost Pause takes this one step further into shit because he mentions that it will have Future Boy Conan and 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother, and Blackjack and all these other things. And he's like, that's kind of weak. He literally says that. And he makes a point of like, that's not going to be enough. You got to have One Piece on there. Really? It's like, you don't know how it works, man. And it decides to just shove fucking older anime under the bus. Like it's like us weebs aren't going to want to watch that. That's your fucking problem. Christ. It's like, you don't realize that like the show that you're trashing here, fucking Future Boy Conan, is like the only TV, I think it's the only TV anime that Hayao Miyazaki directed in full. Because like he has director credit in Lupin, and he's done some episodes for Sherlock Hound, but it's not a full. He didn't direct the full series for Sherlock Hound, I'm almost positive. But he did the whole thing for Future Boy Conan. That's a TV show from him. And it's very very important to his career. That's a Miyazaki TV show. Do you really think... I feel like people would want to watch that if they knew about that, or like would be interested in that. But you don't mention that at all because you've never heard of it before, because you never looked into this stuff further than your fucking waifus and shit. Not that I'm trying to knock that outright, but it really is like, geez, man. It's just taking advantage of anime as something that people like, but you're not educating people here. You're really not. You're sensationalizing this news. I hate it. It sucks to see this from bigger influencers that are spreading this. It sucks, and I hope it's just a passing fucking thing. Anime Log doesn't turn out to be any. It's not like I'm wishing Anime Log not success. Like, I'm not wishing Anime Log success. I hope it does well, but I hope it does well to the point where you realize what it actually is, which is a database, a catalog of these older titles that are not profitable anymore. And that they know it, like they're not going to be able to sell these. So it's like, well, we have this content, may as well make some revenue from it, from putting it up on YouTube, whatever. That's what this is. It's all the losers, quote unquote. It's all the older titles that they are taking a loss on. because they know they can't like sell it, repackage it, or any in particular. There's no money in it anymore. That's what this is. I'm almost positive. It's like, and there's clearly a lot more money to be had in One Piece and in these other profitable titles that you want. This is just not how it works. I'm sorry. It's really funny, but it just sucks to see that this sort of, and I don't try to like go after these kind of things on AniTube Digest normally with like Hero Hey and these other drama guys, but like, I mean, this one, Noble went after some older anime, and I had to take a crack at it. But I much, at least Noble seems to be like a little more personable and like less toxic. That's the thing. Like I don't overall hate the guy so much, compared to like trying to sit through an Otaku Tycoon video when he's talking about this other shit. It's like, oh, bad. Anyway, yeah, this video was not good though. All right, now for the videos that I thought were decent, pretty good. I thought. I'll talk about the next funebure video, the Golden Age of Rule 34. I think he said towards the end of the video that this is one of his series of DOWA. I don't remember, where it's like it's basically like it's just my objective opinion, some kind of rant, I guess. I don't know. It was a little, this seems to be kind of different from the previous content I've covered on Digest, where this seems to be a little less focused and like experiential, I guess. There's certainly, it's still a funebure video. He does not slouch on this at all. I love the fucking sound design to this. There's a lot of weaving sounds, and like he's re-recording himself and like talking over himself in different places. It's very strange vocal delivery. And he's incorporating a lot of weird, not weird, I guess, but like interesting quotes from like Star Trek Next Generation and some other unknown sources, and basically quotes, and kind of incorporating it to his point, building this idea. Talking about the idea of Rule 34 was not really a thing in the 50s until the internet. And then when the internet happened, it has this kind of self-sustained economy of, if it doesn't exist, you can also make it exist, not simply by drawing it yourself, but there are plenty of artists that are making a living on making this lewd art, that whatever you want, just commission it. And so if it doesn't, if it exists, there's lewds of it. And then it's like, if there isn't somehow, and then it's like, you can, it's theoretically possible. So it's sort of a golden age of it, but he goes more into kind of the downsides of this thing, where a lot more people are more sensationalizing and kind of overblowing things and making things kind of worse in some ways, where it's like it's a flawed age. It comes with some it's not a utopian period that we're in terms of this idea. And I just found it a little more unfocused, or like less sharp, or I don't know, there was something about it to me. And I noticed that there was more of, I don't think this is the case, but like I noticed more in this one that it was keeping on very similar shots, like mostly his figure kind of going up and down on a popsicle stick, and then flipping towards to a character that he's talking to is just like the scarecrow type figure. And it was a lot of back and forth of that, so it wasn't as much like visual stimuli, and it was more about the visual, like more of like what he's talking about. I think there was more interesting stuff going on with the sound than there was with the visuals here. Although again, I don't think it's slouching. As I'm watching this video, even though I wasn't as on board with it as the other videos that I've seen from him, it really gave me that vibe of, this guy should have over 100,000 subscribers by now, if not millions or whatever. Like, it has this polish to it and this very strong talent behind it. I reckon, and I'm also happy there are closed captions that seem to be inserted. They're not automatic closed captions. Like, he has tailored captions I really appreciate. And those help, because his voice can be kind of hard to make out, not just with its accent, but the way he mixes it into the video, and like he overlaps himself, and it's a little low in the mix sometimes, and it's not it's not like essay voice, which is different, which is really interesting. And I think it's a really unique voice and I like it. But you just need to have subtitles on. And it's like, well, maybe, I mean, the closed captions are good. But it's also like, you know, maybe some people don't realize that. The layman or the idiot doesn't think to put on closed captions or think that they'll have. Maybe they'll just assume it's automatic and won't really help. But I would encourage, maybe if you included the subtitles into the video yourself, and like you're very good with text. I was noticing like some of the text choices you're using and the integration of it into the video are fantastic. I feel like you do, I'm not like a lyric type thing, but like if you have the just very plain subtitles of what you're saying in the video itself, you know, that's just a suggestion. It's not like I think it'd be, I don't know. And I think you could integrate it very effectively because you're very talented in that way. But yeah, that was a really interesting video. I thought it was a little more unfocused to me, and I wasn't as strongly engaged with it personally, but it doesn't have to. You don't have to strike 1,000 every time. That's totally cool. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's rare that you upload things. Not like super rare or something like that, but you know, it's really exciting when you upload things, and that's what I really like. It's you know, becoming one of my go-tos in terms of like new creators and like stuff I'm sub to. I'm like, wow, I'm excited for this person rather than like being subbed out of obligation, which is the case with some of these creators for me. But I'm happy that you're putting out good stuff. I want to talk about a Gigguk video after a while. I just haven't been into the subjects he's been talking about. But this one did catch my interest a little bit. Flugmorth did request a video from him, but I'm going to save that for next week because he put out this video and I was interested in talking about it. I didn't want to do 2 Gigguk videos, right? So I'm going to do that next week. I hope he doesn't put out a video next week that like is like really crazy or something. But I will. I'm obligated to do the request, so it'll happen. This is what I'm taking. This is the choice I'm making. But the hentai that made me cry is him talking about a particular hentai, and mostly a manga, like a doujin, I guess is what you would call them in this case. Not really. I think doujin means fan made. This is just a manga. This is just an erotic manga. Manga. I'm not versed in this at all. Okay. As you probably know. But you know, I'm trying to learn, you know, without consuming it myself, really. I don't really want to watch much of this stuff. But I'm happy that Gigguk is really going into hentai, not just as a meme, as like a haha teehee, right? But genuinely as like an erotic story that can tell an engaging story. Story. And I'm happy he's making this defense of also a pretty unknown topic. I also like that. I like, you know, under the radar sort of titles. And this has like a 3-episode hentai. I don't know how popular it is in these spheres, but you know, it beats me. But like, yeah, it's not like a seasonal thing, right? It's not like a obvious trend or something like a hot topic or something like that. So I'm happy he's talking about this sort of thing. But yeah, so this was great to hear from him. Personally, I don't think he went into enough detail about the manga itself and what made him emotional and cry. When it says like the hentai that made me cry, my expectation as an audience member for me is I want to hear about the moment that made you cry, so that maybe I get that moment even in passive, but like even in communication. Because like it's not on this digest because it's not as much anime, and I didn't want to. I don't know. But like I did watch Super Eye Patch Wolf's latest video about wrestling heels, and he makes you feel emotional about these stories and these characters the way he was about these. You know, he makes you he brings you on that journey and gives you that moment, and that's the selling point, and that's the good stuff. And I feel like that could have, if you cited a very specific moment that really got you emotional, but I feel like it was just too vague. Maybe it was you were trying to avoid spoilers. I don't know why you would be, because I mean, I'll talk about a video right after this that I think I was actually pretty happy that he talked about spoilers. But I get maybe if it was a spoiler thing, I don't know. But like this could have had more detail to me. I feel like 10 minutes was like, it just felt like you're just trying to cross the 10-minute threshold. Sort of felt like that. Thank you. Please don't go out, my fucking electricity. Oh my God. Yeah, it just didn't have enough explicit details. But other than that, I think it was well made for a manga video for sure. But that's just kind of where I was at with it. I was like, yeah, I'm happy he's talking about this unknown thing, and it's defending hentai in a way that's like, no, it can be effective storytelling and actually really good, and not just for its other intended purposes. You know what I mean? So that was good to see from him, and again, from such a big platform. This is the sort of stuff I want to see in one or more like champions. Like, yeah, good. I was happy about that. And the other one is the Anime Man. With a very similar idea. This manga is not safe for children, and I don't know exactly what convinced me to click on this one, because this is something he's made all the time. He makes this sort of video so often where it's this very unknown manga, and he's just kind of talking about it's very gross or extreme or crazy or whatever, and it's more very sensationalist, and it gets traffic for him, and he likes talking about it. But so this is just kind of one of those videos, and it doesn't. I don't think there's anything. I don't have as much of a frame of reference for his other videos for him to talk about this. But it's similar with Gigguk, where I'm happy with such a large platform. Instead of talking about the typical whatever, typical shonen blah blah blah, he's actually digging and finding this stuff that nobody's talked about or nobody's maybe even heard of. Probably hasn't even heard. I had obviously never heard of it. Granted, I'm not much of a manga person. But he's talking about this really crazy, like a yikes, and and he actually does comment on it where it's like, yeah, most readers would not read this and be like, yikes, stay away. But I like that he really went headfirst into it and didn't endorse it. Did say he was like, yeah, probably shouldn't read this. It's not great, because it's functionally not even based on the subject matter, which the subject matter is really crazy. Yikes. I don't think I want to I don't want to discuss it here because it's fuck. But he does sell it on the fucked up nature of it without being too unpleasant. I think he still has a good sense of humor. Not taking it not taking certain things super lightly or cringy or something like that. I mean, for me at least, I think he's very personable on camera. He's been very comfortable and has a lot of experience doing this for now. Not for now. I don't know what I was saying, but I think he's good at this. I like his discussion of it, and he does talk about spoilers and talks about the whole thing. Talks about specific characters and specific moments. So you really get a sense of what this manga is, instead of kind of a vague idea, similar with what Gigguk was doing for me. Again, I think Gigguk did a good job with why he was making it and handling the subject itself. But I wasn't fully on board in terms of didn't have as much detail. Whereas here, I think Anime Man gives a fair amount of detail. But he spends the most of this video talking about the subject itself at hand, which has to do with kind of the idea of lolicon versus actual pedophilia, and kind of makes that defense of this is a drawing sort of deal. Although he does, it's weird because it's he makes a very specific argument against this idea that lolicon equals pedophilia sort of deal. He says towards the end, it's I'm neutral on this, when it's you don't sound neutral. I don't know. But yeah, but he takes it pretty well. I think he has a decent tact to it. But it is really hard to talk about. And in the context of this really outrageous manga that he's talking about, which it is on topic, it isn't a tangent. It was just, yeah, I wasn't very super impressed by it personally, but I was happy at least he was yeah, we this is a serious subject and we should really take it seriously and not just dismiss anyone who has concerns about it. We really should be serious about this. So I liked the tact that he had there, although it wasn't the most definitive, and I also just don't like that it's couched in this really outrageous manga in the sense that they're very sensational. This manga is not safe for children. I don't think anybody who needs to hear this message of like lolicon versus pedophilia, none of them are going to click on this video. Like, why would they? Right? It's not very well approachable or welcoming in that regard to talk about that subject seriously. So I mean that's my only thing about it really, but I am happy he did talk about it at least. And I think he did. I enjoyed it. Glass Reflection had a rumination video of sorts. Do you avoid watching your favorite anime? Where he's talking here about having not seen the Made in Abyss sequel when he had the opportunity to before quarantine and whatever. He actually did have a moment where he's like, hey, do you want to see the Made in Abyss sequel, the movie that is a continuation of the series? And he said no. And he was kind of like, why did I do that? You know? And it's kind of tapping in this idea of like, you don't want it to get ruined, like your experience. And it's hard for me to go from there because of like what he concretely gets to, because it is very much of a unscripted rant, not like a rant, I guess, but more like just kind of aimless in that way. I enjoyed that he talked about it, and it's showing this sort of insecurity, not like an insecurity or whatever, like a big deal or something, but it is sort of a thing to wrestle with oneself of like, why do I feel this way sort of deal. And he does say at the end where it's like, what do you feel? It's like, do you know where I'm coming from, or am I just crazy? And it's nice that this is the kind of thing that it's a discussion. And I like that he's making these sort of videos and not just review, you know, which is his complete MO. Everyone knows him as the review guy, I think. But I'm very happy that he still has that moniker, of course. But I like that he's doing more of these discussion type videos that are a little more, kind of a little more like abstract, I guess, and not so much of I got a point to make, you know what I mean? And obviously, like, having a point is stronger than not having one, of course. But I think I like it. I like that he talked about it, and I think he's, interesting to listen to in that regard. Not the most visually engaging thing, of course, but but what can you do? So yeah, that was something I wanted to point out. I enjoyed that he was talking about that sort of thing. I listened to the EP by Kuro, the Bento mixtape that came out from Revel House. Please don't go out with power. And I liked it. I listened to their opening, their single, WNA. It's not the most ergonomic acronym to me, but it's Weeb Neighbor Antics. I did it this time, not cringy like, yikes. Anyway, I reviewed it when that had come out, actually, and I enjoyed that as well. But that was definitely the most weeb-centric and like otaku-y, reference-y sort of track on this EP. The rest of it was very bangery. There was one track that was a little more immersed in the culture, I guess, and kind of evoking those feelings, which I enjoyed. Good bangers and stuff, but like they rap very quickly. So, and you know, it's not my type of rap personally. I wasn't like super fucking with it. What can you do? It's hard to properly articulate why. But I think I was happy to see that he had a full mixtape, and it seems pretty well produced. Yeah, I liked it a good deal. I think it was the third to last track. I forget the name of it. I liked that one the most, I think. Besides the opening track, which is the single, WNA. I guess it has an okay acronym, but yeah, I enjoyed this mixtape. I'm happy that they're coming out with this stuff. And last, we're going to talk about the anime director I admire most from Digibro and Digineé, which they've had some not so great success with launching, unfortunately, and then they've had some woes with YouTube in general, and they're trying to do different stuff. With like an OnlyFans and stuff, which I probably won't go out of my way to watch if I'm being honest. It's just you know, not my not my place to. And I also would like, I don't care that much about hentai and about hentai content either. So it's like, yeah, not probably not, just not for me. But hey, what can you do? And I did watch their Digi's rant of like, God damn it, YouTube. You know, it's like, yeah, I feel that, but it is the kind of like relying on these platforms of Patreon and YouTube and stuff like that as your income. It's just really tough. It's the risks you play, you know. And you know, I don't know how. I mean, obviously, Digi's has had sponsors before, and for various ad things, I guess, but probably just Crunchyroll. I can't even remember another one that she's done in the past. But like that would be probably a good source of revenue where Gigguk and the Anime Man were able to put out these videos explicitly about hentai or a very controversial subject, or like eroguro manga, stuff like that would definitely get age restricted, and they would not be able to make any money off of. But they made some money because they have sponsors. But I don't know how in the market Digi is for a sponsor. Yeah, or if she's willing to. I don't know if she probably just doesn't want one. Anyway, let's talk about the video itself, the video in question. So, like, this is very old school Digi, and I was surprised that they didn't go with May narrating it. I was wondering why they seem to have dropped that so quickly, like within a week or something. I don't know. Not like it's like, ooh, bad. You know, I enjoyed, you know, May's presentation and you know, delivery of stuff. But I guess maybe it was just that like this is sort of stuff that this does feel very old school Digi, with like talking about a particular director and very name dropping a bunch of studios and different works, and you know, really going into the weeds of their library, stuff like that, like anime director Time Forgot, really, really great video, of course. It's sort of that feel. Although I felt with this one, it just felt a little all over the place. Like first you were talking about B Train and your relationship to those shows with having written that blog. But I get like the director's intention with creating B Train, but I don't know what their intention was with creating those shows. I felt like that director directing those shows, and then him directing his older work with iCity and Goldron and his previous filmography. I just didn't see the connection between the two. It didn't feel like I had a full understanding of this director, and when I don't have that, I think it's much more difficult to see why you admire him the most in that way. So I feel like the actual point, I think I like a lot of the observations that Digi makes. I didn't write any of them down. Would it be? But like, and definitely when it comes to your identity, of course, where you're seeing a lot of this stuff in Dot Hack, where it's like, oh, that's why I relate to this character and not the other ones. It's like, oh, this show is made for me, you know? And I'm like, okay. And there's a lot of moments of connection there, and like, I get it, sort of thing. But I just felt like it was multiple pieces and they didn't fit together in the same way, or at least in a very solid, like, wow, I get it sort of way. I don't know how it would go about doing that. I get starting with B Train because it starts with the personal connection, but I don't know. I guess I was looking for that sort of like artistic evolution sort of thing with that director, or at least getting an understanding of what this director prioritizes. And that is coming from the Dirty Pair director, the Dirty Pair movie Project Eden, which is like one of my favorite anime movies. I get that you like iCity a lot more, but God, I love that. I love fucking Project Eden to death. And like, I think just saying that he's psychedelic or experimental or kind of artsy and stuff, it wasn't enough for me personally, but I you know, obviously I'm very happy you're talking about it and talking about it in these terms. And I will say one thing too. I think the reason this particular video was voiced by you and not by Digibro. I'm sorry if I'm... Yeah, the identities are still, you know. And why it's not voiced by Digibro is because you have this moment of like quoting Sum 41's In Too Deep. Like that sort of moment of like bringing a different eccentric character forward couldn't have been replicated the same way with Digibro. You know, like it would have been, it's hard to do. So that's why I think that's the difficulty in having one person perform and another person specifically writing. Although Cartoon Cypher does similar things, but I don't know how much writing in their videos, how much of it is Abi and how much of it is AJ Cosplay. AJ Cosplay is performing the video, but he does seem to be immersed in the industry, not in, you know, in the discussion of the industry and these subjects. So like, it does seem like part of it is coming from him, but then Abi is editing it primarily and like perform and I don't know, the synergy is much clearer there for me, to where like I'm not like distracted by like what point is, where is who's coming from sort of deal. I don't know. I feel like that gelling seems much stronger for me, but you guys will figure it out, I'm sure. It'll be great. And I'm best of luck with the OnlyFans. I'm not sure I'm going to cover that content exactly. Not a big deal though, but I liked this video. But those are my thoughts about it. I'm happy you're talking about though this particular subject, and also coming around from this. I think when you started from I wanted to watch this video again, like right as I finished it, but like I have to, you know, with digest and stuff. But like I felt like there was a lot of really good truth bombs in here too. One of the things was like talking about you much prefer anime analysis that's positively skewed, or you're a lot more skeptical of the negative stuff because you have moments where even the stuff that the reviewer is showing you, you are having a completely different reaction and opinion versus what they're talking about. It's like, see, this thing's bad. And you're like, that doesn't look bad to me. And that dissonance I've experienced myself for sure. So I really liked that you voiced about that sort of thing, for example. And, you know, it was great to see that you have this evolution between like hating B-Train in this because it wasn't what you wanted it to be versus, okay, this is what this guy's about sort of deal. I don't know. But it didn't fully click for me. That's just it. Yeah. What it be. But yeah, good shit. Okay, now let us discuss the best videos of the week that I thought were the best videos of the week. I have to clarify. And the first two are AMVs, of course. Why wouldn't they be? You can't make a bad AMV in my presence. I mean, there's certain ones that I don't have any reaction to, but I don't think I can actually think of a one that I would put in not good, unless it was like offensive or like making the anime look awful or something, which like, why would you make that? I don't know. That would be incredible to me. Anyway, this Seaweed Ambassador video, of course, from Wolf Children, Mess. And he has like this texture over the whole thing, this little like crinkly little overlay thing. That was like, ooh, this is a nice texture. It's very simple, right? He's not doing too many crazy things. But like he's doing this sort of stop motion thing with the letters, like putting little paper letters and kind of like scattering them around. I'm not sure how he did that. My guess would be, and you can correct me in this, I'm sure I'm wrong, but like I would hearken to guess would be taking a bunch of photos basically. And it's literally stop motion where you take like maybe a green, like a white background or a green screen of something, and you have the paper cutouts and you place them in that format. I mean, maybe, I don't know how else it just looked very natural. It looked very organic in that way, where like the paper was coming in. It didn't look like it was a digital effect, right? You didn't just like hit title in Premiere and then made it look like that. If you did, I'm very, very, very impressed. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, of course. So like, and I love the soundtrack too, the song choice. I have never heard the song before. And it comes and goes really quick. It's a very, very like sweet, like, oh, that was so comfy. I liked it a lot. It's then that's the best shit, dude. I could never, because it's like, for me, I always have to make it a big deal or something, like 4 minutes or whatever, But I can never make a 1 minute thing. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just not. I don't have it in me. I don't know why. God damn it. Whatever. But yeah. So that was super cute. And is this going to connect to a wolf children video that I'll talk about as well? So you just get 2 entries in? I don't know. Maybe you got me. No, or maybe you already talked about wolf children. Shit. I'm sorry. I don't know. Fuck. Whatever. I have very bad memory. Anyway, I love this shit. I'm so happy you make AMVs like regularly now. It's fucking dope, my guy. But he's not the only one to make an AMV. Jiffy put out a ballroom. Welcome to the ballroom AMV. Take the leap. What? Right? First of all, Jiffy making an AMV? I swear I've never seen him make one. I don't think I've seen it. I feel like this is his first one. It was because his recording equipment is broken, and so he's like, well, I guess I'll make an AMV. Hell yeah. Hope you enjoyed making it. He said he really liked making it, so I was like, okay. When's the next one? It's just like, we're bringing it back. We're doing it again. Love making it. I love this one too, especially towards the beginning. It was really choppy. It was really like syncopated, like really different shot to like every beat. It felt like, or like it was syncopated very precisely, like really choppy and fast. I thought, but it was really engaging in that way. And especially when the song itself drops and like really brings in the big orchestra or whatever, and it really sweeps you off your feet. That's when the AMV really kind of sweeps you off your feet. And he's not doing anything super like experimental with the editing or something. He's not doing overlays or like stitching some stuff. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. It's tasteful. I like it. But he's really, and he matches that energy. And man, I really liked the showing Welcome to the Ballroom in this way. Is it just me? Or did that show completely go off of people's radars? I remember people like, oh, this is one of the ones to watch for the summer season. And then it just kind of dropped off, didn't it? I didn't end up watching it. But like it was 2 cores. And I remember like hearing about the second core, I don't remember specific criticisms, but like just wasn't that good or something, or just something fell apart. I don't know what happened. But people really kind of I don't know what its mal score is, but I felt like people kind of just forgot about it. What the fuck is its mal score? Oh, it's actually a good mal score. That's weird. Because that completely blinked off people's rate for me. I completely forgot. That's why it was like so surprising to see for like Ballroom. It's like, oh, what the fuck? That came out years ago. Or it's like, well, yeah. Says the guy making. So the guy who makes AMVs of only things that are like 40 years old. Like, yeah, dude. Like, so what? Anyway, oh man, it's even old. It's not even as old as fucking Wolf Children. Like, what is wrong with you? No, but like, it's just unexpected, I guess. But it was really selling me on that show. I hadn't seen it. And, I'd heard things. Here's the interesting thing about it. It was selling me on the character designs, which was kind of a point of contention for the people who were watching the show, because people were making fun of the fucking giraffe neck, right? With how long the necks were and how limber the bodies are. That's nothing compared to some of the shots that they were in this AMV, where they're actually dancing and they look like stick figures. They like noodle people. But it was really engaging, actually, because Jiffy was very specific to like show a lot of moments of realization and elation and like, oh, this is what we love this. And and embracing this world of ballroom dancing. And I think the animation is, and obviously AMV is complimenting this for me, was that the skinnier the bodies get, the more into it they are, and the more like, because like I imagine with ballroom dancing, you have to be constantly straight and like, so like I feel like the skinny, like the animation almost like complements the intensity of the ballroom dancing, I guess. And it just makes it more energetic and more like visceral. There was something about it, and it was just selling me so fucking hard, dude. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And I really liked it. And this AMV was selling me the hell on ballroom, dude. It's very hard for me to pick up a seasonal once it's finished, or if I didn't pick it up initially, it's hard for me to get back to it. But that looks great. And I think you did a really good job selling people on it. I was seeing the comments too, like, wow, it looked great, or whatever. That was fantastic, dude. Really liked it, seriously. Gotta, of course, talk about a STEVEM video of Miyazaki's underappreciated Porco Rosso. Okay, interesting title. No, it's a Porco Rosso video, and this was in such poor stitchings with copyright and YouTube, and he got a strike before he got a strike when he was testing it. He was just trying to see how it went, and he got a copyright strike, and he got a bullshit. And I had seen this video. He had graciously shared it with me. So I was very happy to see it early. So this was actually a while ago since I had first seen it. And I rewatched it, of course, when it came out. And yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm not the biggest Porco Rosso fan, but he sells this movie so fucking hard. I had to listen to Joe Hisaishi's Il Porco Rosso theme. Like when he was using it in this video, I had to listen to it solo. I was like, oh my God. It's incredible. I love it. And he really paints how really remarkable this film is for me, because it's like, I just saw it as another Miyazaki movie. I really did. I was just like, he's made 11 movies, it's one of them, right? But it doesn't feel isolated and special to me when I had first seen it. And I've seen it multiple times. I've seen each of his movies multiple times. Not like I'm a huge Miyazaki stan. That was just what I grew up with. I had rented these movies from the library constantly. So I'd seen this. So a lot of the Ghibli movies, with the exception of Nausicaa, really kind of, they're not. I don't have them as great, really, because it's like I don't have that as much of a. They're nostalgic films for me, I guess. It's like, oh, I grew up with that film, right? So it's harder to bring it to that true, like, this is fantastic sort of deal, I guess. I think this is my justification for it. But so I'm not the biggest Porco fan. Not like I don't like the movie. I do like the movie, but this video fucking sells you, dude. Floored me. It was like, geez, dude. And the attention to the production and what Miyazaki is thinking, and the choices of like hearing the sort, like what the song is that Gina sings in the bar, and not just be like, I like the song that she sings. It's like, no, this is what the song is from. This is what it represents. And it's obviously beautifully shown in the video itself. STEVEM is freaking phenomenal with video, dude. It's really one of the standouts for me as a creator. Super, super huge influence, but like I can't possibly approach it. I don't even know how to I'm not like looking at his videos to try to copy them or something. I just can't. I physically can't. I don't know. It's insane. But like, yeah, he's great. It's a great video, obviously. But and also the Roald Dahl quote that he had, not the quote, but the short story and the parallels to that film as well. It was really great. It's fantastic. But like, it's expected. It really is for me. It's like, yep, of course. And that's always a great sign for a content creator, and what you want to keep supporting them and keep, and I'm so happy we're on a talking basis. It's very, very few, it's rare that like you're friends with the person who made this really cool video, who has way more subs than you, and like way better success, right? Like you're not a lot of people who are, who watch YouTube videos. I'm not on talking terms with the majority of people that I've subscribed to on my private or like people I watch recreationally, obviously. Like I feel like I have a personal connection to them, but I don't. I'm not on speaking terms with these people, right? But it really blows my mind that that STEVEM is one of those people that not only do I talk to personally, like DMing and stuff, but like, he comments on all these digests and stuff, and it's so nice. And it's seriously, thank you for your friendship. It's really, I'm very grateful for it. Oh, there goes my internet. Holy shit. Damn. Yeah, would it be? I was fucking, yeah, no, that killed everything for me. And it's back. But, and unfortunately that means the majority of my, my recording is going to be crap. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm talking to this anymore because I fucking lost the recording. That's what happened. Can't. Anyway, loved that video from STEVEM. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll just, I know your Satoshi Kon video is going to blow my dick off anyway, so guess I'll just talk about you twice in a row. Fine. Would it be? Ever living good shit, dude. Holy fuck. But I know off the top of my head, I don't have to see my fucking screen. Turn on, my dude. At least it turns on, doesn't short circuit or something. Christ. At least, I actually do know who I kind of gave the last video to, which is quote unquote best video of the week. But I do genuinely, I wanted to save this for last because it's like very surprising, very delightfully surprising. I'm very happy to see this video from Jerry Freeman, who I gave a very scathing, like really hated his video last year about AniTube sucking and him making fun of the KyoAni arson. Oh my God. But like, he really made a sincere and really good, well, and it looked like he just wasn't talking, he was not talking out of his ass. He was citing very frequently from this document. So I haven't talked about the video title because I actually don't know what it is exactly, but he made a Metropolis video. I love Metropolis, and so did he. Hell yeah! He was citing stuff from the creators, from the documentaries he was watching, and really doing it justice and being honest about his opinions. He had this take about like how it had this many frames, and he kept kind of dwelling on that a little too much in my opinion. But he was using it as justification of like, this is why it moves this way, and it's like they jiggle a lot, but there's not a lot of very precise meditated motion. I don't know exactly how he said it, but he has this quote was like, "You're not accurate." I call it the "you're not accurate" effect. Because I do think he does have a point where it's like, a lot of anime films were made in the consciousness of Akira being made, right? And it's like, wow, that's a thing that we could try to emulate and try to, I don't know. But like, it really felt like he liked anime and liked this movie. He has his opinions about newer anime. I love this one joke where it's like animated into the 2000s and it was like a rocket. It may have been the NASA Challenger, kind of an edgy joke there, but like the rocket going and just kind of exploding in the anime in the 2000s sort of deal. Which a little bit of old fag, quote unquote, but I was happy with it. I really like the humor he has here. Still, it's still sharp. It's still that kind of Demolition D-ish type of thing. And it was an enjoyable video. And I thought it was a pretty well researched video. Like, he wasn't just kind of talking about this movie out of his ass or something. And it was a good take of Metropolis. That also really helps. God help you if you think of it, with the respect, right? And respect to the creators and other people who like this movie and stuff. And A little of a weird hate boner for BNA, I guess. He really he wasn't feeling BNA, I guess. But I thought it was a kind of interesting, I guess that's kind of what's on your mind. And I think it's a good crystallization of where you're at when making this video. I think it's perfectly fine. Just something kind of an interesting thing about a tidbit, I guess. But yeah, no, I was really impressed seeing this from a guy who says openly in one of his videos, he's like, I actually don't really like anime that much. And it's like, why do I want to listen to you, right? But this really hit the ground running right when you start the video and ends it with kind of a really snappy AMV sort of thing. And, I think he does like the I Can't Stop Loving You theme or one of the things. And like, loving the music, although he's very like, I'm a bit of a, like a music illiterate, I think he said. It was just funny. Oh no, did I even save the document I had open? I did, thank God. But yeah, it was a great video from him. I really liked it. And that's the kind of video on Metropolis I expect from people. But it was really, really encouraging to see from this guy, where like I also really like the intro where he has like Jerry in the big letters. That was a really cool intro, by the way. And that's exactly it, dude. That was fucking it. Yes, I want you to make more videos like this. Yes, I really liked that video, Jerry. My big takeaway is I hope you liked making that video, because if you did, that would hopefully mean that's like, yeah, I want to do more of that. And that's so additive. And this was like, I looked at the comments. People were like, wow, this movie looks really cool. I'll watch it. That's the shit. That's what we make these for. It isn't just talking for the sake of talking. It's to advocate for this stuff and to like really get a deeper understanding of it. I really liked how far into you were talking about Tezuka and his relationship with this movie, where it's like, and then he died. And then he made it anyway, or whatever. And like their intentions with it and constantly going back to it. And it's not just like a tribute to Osamu Tezuka as like a title for the sake of a title. I don't know, where this very well could have been like that. But you really kept bringing it back to Tezuka as a creator and like his manga specifically. So I really appreciated that too. But yeah, you did everything right here. I think you did everything right, pretty much. I think the edgy humor is really good. I think a lot of the quips that you're making and inserting in here actually did kind of remind me of like Man Mode of sorts. And I just love that type of humor. And like, that's the sort of, it's positively directed. It's not toxic, right? It's not very like wallowing in something. It's like, yeah, no, I just liked every little quip and side cut you did was really engaging and unexpected and funny and like kept you paying attention sort of deal. It's a great device when it's used well. And I think you did a great job here. Seriously. I loved this video. Can't praise it enough, honestly. I'm very surprised. I really liked it. But I guess that'll do it for this episode of AniTube Digest. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the bad audio. That's what happened. You saw the foreshadowing. I foreshadowed it at least 3 times. And then it happened. Whatever. But this will hope... So, like, okay. Next week will be the 1-year anniversary of AniTube Digest. So I have a couple fun planned things for everybody. I'm creating a more easier way to find channels and like what I've talked about in terms of their videos and stuff. So I haven't made the Excel spreadsheet yet, but it will be an Excel spreadsheet that will be constantly updating, hopefully, of all the creators that I talk about in AniTube Digest and what I've talked about. So like if a new creator suddenly finds this and is like, what the hell? Oh no, they've talked about my videos? They can more easily search it. So that's my solution at the moment. But if you guys have any further suggestions to make this more accessible and searchable, I guess, let me know. I am setting an RSS feed to make this audio only, like make this a podcast form, which I have converted all the digests into an MP3 format. I just have to set it up, and I haven't ripped the Band-Aid yet, because RSS does cost money, so it's like, I don't know, it's intimidating. But also, like, forget it. I'm using excuses. I haven't made it yet, but I will. It will be out by next week, hopefully. There will be a video on next Thursday. Hope this is all tentative. This is what I'm planning to do, okay? I should go chronologically. Tuesday will be the 49th AniTube Digest, technically 48th if you don't count the 2019 one. Tuesday will be the regular digest, and that'll be the kind of the 1 year celebration digest, I guess, like woohoo, whatever. Wednesday, this is all next. Wednesday, September 2nd is the day I uploaded the first AniTube Digest. So that day will be a live stream, my first live stream ever, not just on this channel, but like period. I've never done a live stream before. And we're going to spend it doing a tier list of that I've created myself of 100 anime YouTubers that I've assembled myself. There will be room. There are parameters. There are some people not on it. Okay, I had to be selective, and we'll go over that when that happens. But that will be live, and I haven't even assembled. I was planning to make it separately and then assemble and give my reasons for it, but that's not live, right? So that'll be me making those decisions live and making that tier list myself, and then you'll have access to it as well. So that'll be fun. Hopefully fun. I don't burn any bridges or hurt any feelings, would it be? I'm sure I will. Fuck me. But one of the parameters of that tier list was that, like, I wanted to do mostly sizable YouTube channels. So I cut it off at 1,000 subscribers. If you have less than 1,000 subscribers, you're not on the tier list. So that's a lot of people who I've talked about on Digest and love their content, but don't have 1,000 subscribers. It's a very arbitrary boundary, I know. That is just the boundary I'm setting in order to narrow it down to 100, which is also an arbitrary round number or whatever. But like, that was what I wanted. I didn't want to just make it endless and okay. It's just decisions I'm making. So there's plenty of channels that I really want to talk about and endorse and say, hey, this is a really good channel. Please get them to 1,000 subscribers because they deserve that and way more. So I have a group of those, and that will be a recorded video that I hopefully put out on Thursday, that next Thursday, talking about those channels specifically, recommending some videos from them and encouraging people to subscribe to them. I have a regular listenership of 1,000 people, roughly, who watch these digests. So I would hope that means that I have some amount of reach to at least get them to that threshold, very tiny threshold of 1,000 subscribers. I mean, 1,000 people is nothing to sneeze at, but it is tiny in the grand scheme of YouTube. But I want to use that as a platform. It's like, hey, let's get all these guys to 1,000 subscribers so I don't have that problem. So let's just do it. Let's do it. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, hopefully, and successful. But yeah, and I have one other video, I guess. Yeah, I do have another video. I didn't even put it on here, but I'll probably put that video out Friday, which is a different thing. I'll leave that, I guess, as a surprise. So next week's a lot of fun on this channel, hopefully. if I don't slouch, Jesus. Shapes. But hey, thank you so much for watching this episode of AniTube Digest. Thank you to my patrons for watching and supporting it, including Beamburst, Flugmorph, Hazel, Jawburst, Kuiper, Conra, Kazuki, My Anime Pod, Najbeb, Unique Namosaurus, and Yellow Cheese. You guys have a good week. I'll see you. Fun time. Of course, have a good this week, and next week will be a fun. Anyway, Jesus Christ, just finish the video. Yo, peace.